So you will be not surprised at all to hear that the second part of attune is how do we attune ourselves to what the other person is feeling physically, emotionally, and what their narratives might be. I really want to out the words respect and humility right at the top. I cannot know what my husband is feeling. I cannot know what he's the only person inside of him, just like I'm the only person inside of me. So for me to make a lot of assumptions about how he is, not fair. You know, I can ask him if I want to, and he can tell me or not, but I don't know. What I can do, let's say if I walk in the room to do something with him, I can stop to think, wonder how Tom's doing today, right now, physically. I might know he's got an arthritic knee, gives him a lot of pain. You know, I know he's got that. I know that can affect him. And I might say, how's your knee? I could ask him, but I'd know more about it. Or I could just say, how you doing? And he could say, I'm exhausted. I need to nap right now. You know, it might feel that way. I don't know. But that's physically. Emotionally, I don't know about your person. Tom probably won't tell me that. If I ask him, how you doing emotionally? He'll go, what? Are you crazy? But I might have a sense of something I know he's worried about. A scan was a good example if your person has cancer. If you know one's coming up, then you know your person's probably got some emotional stuff around that. Or if you know another round of chemo is about to start, and if you know that the chemo rounds for your person are particularly difficult, they have a lot of nausea and difficulty around them, then you'll know that that may be something your person's worrying about. If you know in your family that something is difficult for your kids right now, you might know that that's affecting your person, but you may have a sense of what's happening emotionally. And same thing for yourself. If you know you just had an argument in the morning, you may know that your person could still be irritated by it, even if you feel fine. Say, it's over, I'm glad. And your person might still be upset about it. But just allowing yourself to realize, again, what version of your person is in the room with you? What might be happening? And then the one that I love the best, because I think this is so something I forget, is what are my person's stories about me or about the situation? What are their stories? I'll give you an example. I think it's gotten a little better lately, but in general, my husband tends to think I'm really bossy. I don't think I'm bossy, but if I suggest or tell him to, do anything that I think is for his own good, he thinks I'm being bossy, and he can get really pissed off at that. So I can find a different way to say what I'm saying, but I have this story in my mind. That's how he's going to feel. So that's my preconception. And if I walk in there assuming that, he can probably pick that up from me. I mean, we're all such empathic creatures. We really are. So here we go. We've just talked about, we're going to try to guess how our person, guesstimate how our person's doing physically, how they're doing emotionally. How about what the stories are about us? So I would ask you that. Does your person have stories about you that they probably tell themselves? So let's try that again. So for a moment, could you close your eyes or allow your gaze to drop and imagine your person. Imagine you've just walked into the room and you're talking with them about whatever you're doing, making lunch or going to the doctors or whatever you're doing. And just see if you can just guess, imagine, how might they be feeling in their bodies today? How might they be feeling emotionally today? And what might their stories be about you? It doesn't have to be negative, but just, do they have stories that are part of their equipment, part of who they are? Yeah. So you can imagine in the grace practice, Joan Halifax is not suggesting that a busy doctor or nurse is going to spend 20 minutes on this. It's like, before you walk into the room, stop for a minute. Notice how you're doing physically, emotionally, mentally. After you walk in the room, in addition to all the physiological things you have to do, just stop. How do I think my person's doing, my patient's doing in terms of their physical well-being, their emotions? Do I know they're scared about an upcoming scan? Do I know that? I mean, that's going to affect how they talk to me and how they hear what I say. And do they have stories about me? And as a clinician, what might the stories be? It might have to do with how, for a clinician, it might have to do with how they look. If I walk in the room as a chaplain, there's an old lady. That's what they notice. And who knows, they may have all kinds of preconceptions about that. So this is all about seeing our way through that a little bit.